back to work. This is our goal for the day on a blank wall. I went ahead and got it all figured out because it was becoming hours and hours trying to figure out the best way to do this. Got it figured out with all my frustration hidden, so now I can do it with you guys for real. This is the shorter wall, so you can see the panels are floor to ceiling. We're gonna do it on this blank wall. There's a top bar you can see, a middle bar to give them some support, and a lower bar against the floor so everything's at the same distance out. I hid the lights behind the grooves of the boards and bud them up end to end. I will need to do a little bit of spacing in between. If you hit the right angle, you can see some light coming through, and that's definitely undesired. Put them up, get them all sanded and prepped, paint them while they're up. Then we'll have to take the light ones off again to put the backing on them to, you know, the diffuser on the back. And I got something cool planned for this middle column that we'll do in another video. On this side, step one, we got to get these rails up. Step two, where the light panel's going to be, we have to line it up and see if these vertical studs are in the way, and then we'll get the lights up. So let's get to work. Now for this side, because it's taller than that side, but it made the panels uniform, they're going to be put up against the ceiling, and we're going to add a styled footer on this side where there will be some courtesy lighting for while the theater is acting as a theater. And I think I'm going to match the panel to what we did on the front wall here by the French drain clean out. Right now I'm just lighting it up approximately where it's going to go so I can lay the light panel up to see if these studs need to be moved. They probably will, but I'm really hoping they don't. These are both going to have to be moved. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take off the top rail, put it on prematurely to take these out. So while we're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the ones for the other light panel too, because we're supporting it top and bottom and not vertically anyway. Luckily, pro tip, Home Depot has an amazing return policy. I mean, I can't return the couplings, but the ones I just bought. If you do it on your Home Depot card, you have a year and you don't even need the receipt. Our imperfect cuts, leaving a little nub here of the 2x4, gives us something to put the top rail into, since the top plate, I forget the technical name for it, is covered by a sheetrock ceiling. Back to where we started. We can move the panels, put some insulation, get back to work. I used 2x2s on that side for this port because I had them, but when I went to Home Depot, the 2x3s were cheaper than both the 4s and the 2s. So I grabbed a bunch of those, and that will go across just fine. I only marked one spot because all I'm going to do is put it up and then use my level. Before I do the actual 3D panel that's supposed to go first, I'm going to eyeball this one to make sure it's all hidden. And it is good. The other thing I need to do now is put a top bar that goes across this hidden spot just to hold the top of the lights. It has nothing to do with the structure of the wall. For that, we go to the old faithful furring strip because they're dirt cheap and they're thin. I only put a little bit of insulation because taking out our studs, there's nothing to attach the insulation to. So once I put this up, I will actually attach the insulation to the back of this. And here will be another new challenge, because this is the lightest thing I built with all the layers of wood. And I have to hold it up here, can't hold it with my knee, but I gotta push it up into the ceiling and make sure the right side is level. I tried to think of all sorts of different ways to get these panels up without having screws showing, because there shouldn't be. French cleats and magnets and attaching it from the back and all things like that. Some of it probably could have worked, but got too convoluted. Things like the magnets, I was worried there would be vibration because this will be a theater. There is going to be 7.2.2 surround sound. I didn't want the vibrations and stuff, and it has to function as a theater, not drive me crazy, kind of first and foremost, but I also wanted to look cool. So I compromised, and I found these unique looking screws. That way they can be removed if I need to access the walls behind, run new wires, add panels, things of that nature. And I'm putting them in uniform. I measured them all from the top and from the sides to see where they should go. So even though they're there, it's not going to spoil the whole look and feel of the room. Where possible, I went through all the layers because it's all going to help keep it together. But using 2 tubes of liquid nail on each one, I think it's pretty solid. At first, I just did 4, 2 top, 2 bottom. I didn't like the flex in the middle, so when I added this center rail, I added 2 there. For the light ones, there's 9 because they're thinner. For these 3D panels, there's 3 top, 3 bottom, 2 in the middle, so 8. The unfortunate thing I didn't think about, which was stupid, because if I have to take this off now, is I don't have a support for the bottom of this. I have a support for the bottom of the wall, so that was an oversight. Let's try to find a way to get this on without taking the whole thing apart, but of course I have to take the whole thing apart.